In this demonstration, we're going to join a piece of plywood to the pine here using screws and glue. So the glue we're going to use is PVA. In this workshop, we don't use our finger to smooth it out because it actually causes dermatitis. So you actually use either a wood shaving or a little stick to smooth the glue out. So it's PVA. On the top piece of timber here, I've marked out where I'm going to put my holes. So I usually come in 30mm from the end of the piece of timber here, and I mark half the thickness of this piece here. So in this case, it's 10mm there. First drill bit I've put in my drill here is a clearance hole. So what it is it's bigger than the threads of my screw here, so that when I put my screw through, it won't actually grab. So I've drilled one there, and the second one here. Use the same method as I showed you before. Make sure it's plumb, and just simply drill through. Okay. The reason for that is so that your screw can go in and out without actually grabbing onto the job. Righto. When you're joining two pieces of timber using this method, what we try to do is put a shadow line on your joint. So what that means is this piece of timber is slightly under this surface, so that you can actually plane this top surface off flush with that. If you go that way, you have to plane the whole piece here. If you go that way, you actually get a nicer joint, and you can leave that because it hides any discrepancies along this piece of timber. Okay, this glue here is called PVA. As I mentioned before, you try not to get it on your fingers. To smooth out, you use a stick. And what I'm going to do is run a bead all the way along this piece of timber that we're going to screw and glue together. And so forth. And using the stick, you can smooth it out. If you put too much glue on, it's actually hard to line up because the job actually slips away, and too little, obviously it's not going to stick. You want to smooth the glue out all the way to the edges so that you get a good joint all the way along. Okay, that bit obviously just goes in the bin so that the glue doesn't go everywhere. Usually you make that just above the top of your bench, so it's easier to join that piece on. Like so. Okay. Next thing we do is actually put this drill bit into the drill. And what that does is it gives you the centre hole for your screw just there, so that you don't split your material. You notice with small bits it's hard to actually get it in the centre of the chuck, so forth. And make sure that's actually in the centre of the drawers. Okay, bring this piece over the top, make sure there's no swath on the back because it actually pushed the joint apart. Okay. And the shadow line I was talking about before is just there, so it's slightly past the surface just there. Okay, next thing we're going to do is actually just drill with this centre drill in there, with the glasses on. In the centre of the other hole, you go down. So this gives you the centre drill for your screw, and also it'll stop your job splitting. So you start your screw like so. Usually I just start them with my fingers. And then we put this driver bit into the drill and you drive it in. So that's the number 2 posi drive. So use the right drive bit for the screw. Okay. So I've got my number 2 posi drive bit in my drill. On the top of the drill here is actually some torque settings, so that when you're putting in screws, you actually use the ratchet so that you don't strip the screw. So you might come around to about a number 8. Put your drill on number 1 there. So you've got low speed, and the torque setting for that, it won't strip the head of the screw. Bring it down. We've got our flush, our shadow line there, and start your screw off. And to start it, you just gently pulse it. And and you want to put the screw in so it's just flush with the surface. As you can hear there, the torque setting started to kick in. Okay, that's one screw in. Now we'll do the second one. If you want to speed up this operation, you usually get 2 drills and have one with each drill bit in it. I usually do one screw and then do the next one because what it does actually stops your job moving. And then we'll go back and we'll tighten up the first one as we go. As you can see there, that wasn't in the centre of the drawers. Okay, now we're putting in the second screw. And you want it so it's just flush with the surface. Now you go back and tighten up the first screw. Okay.